the brains behind it all, the leader, the captain of the ship. He's kind enough to join us right now from Las Vegas. There he is. Eugene, how are you, sir?
Hi, Aaron. Thank you for the introduction. I'm doing good. I'm slowly, nearly used to the different time zones, but I'm doing pretty good. Still a little tired, but boys are firing.
Yes. Are you at that house that I see on social media with the basketball and the pool? Are you there as well?
I am in the frat house. I'm absolutely with everybody.
You're in the frat house?
Yeah, I'm with everybody else.
It's so I don't know if are the headphones connected, because I'm hearing like a lot of music and stuff, so it's hard to hear you.
Is that any better?
It's a little bit better. Wait, so who's blasting music at 11 a.m. over there? What's going on at the frat house? Oh, this might be better now. Or did?
No, honestly, I don't know what that is.
Okay, that's weird. All right, but yeah, maybe if you're closer, if you don't mind, just so that we can hear you, because obviously we want to hear what you're saying. Oh, you lost your headphones now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but I'm just on the speaker.
Okay, well, this is fine.
Is it better?
Yeah, I think it's okay. All right. Oh, wait.
How about now, sir?
Oh, now it's good. That's good. That's good.
Okay.
All right, cool. Thank you, Coach. I appreciate it. All right, so could I ask you? We've heard. Let's start with Izzy. We've heard him talk about Jared in the past. It felt like a couple of years ago. Who's this guy walking in and out? Is that Tim Simpson? What is going on over here?
That's the Frank Hickman.
Oh, Frank, we see you. You don't have to duck. You could just walk right by. I mean, we didn't have to. He's very quick. We almost didn't see him. We've heard Izzy talk about Jared. He kind of sort of like singled him out as a guy that he might meet, but then Jared stumbled and he got hurt. Did you always feel the same? Like, did you always feel like you would end up seeing Jared at some point?
Yeah, I felt exactly what you said. I felt he stumbled, but I always thought Jared would be right amongst the top guys consistently. So I thought eventually we would meet him. So we've kept a close eye on Jared, which has been pretty good because we didn't have to do as much homework because we've already been keeping a close eye on him. So yeah.
So when you compare him to the recent opponents, right, the Whitakers, the Vittoris, the Paulo Costa, where do you put a Jared Cannonier?
Yeah, I mean, I put him at the top amongst those guys, and for several reasons. But yeah, I put him amongst our recent challenges. I definitely put him probably at the top of that list.
What could you tell me? You say for several reasons. Could you tell me why?
Well, yeah, I can tell you the number one reason, and I believe it's just his mental fortitude. I believe when it gets tough in this fight, which I think it will be, I think he will be the guy that is able to, that will will himself to walk through a bit of fire. Where I felt like the other guys, they might have said they were going to do that, but when they felt the sharpness and they felt the sting, their mind kind of changed. Which I think Jared will push through.
So when you say that it's going to be tough, like, do you mean it's going to be tough for Izzy as well? Are you expecting 25 minutes here? Are you expecting like the Gaslam fight?
I'm expecting not the Gaslam fight. I'm still expecting a masterclass, but I'm expecting an opponent who's willing to push Israel and walk through a bit of fire, which always makes it interesting, right?
Mm-hmm. How has Izzy been in terms of motivation going into this fight? The last couple opponents were rematches. It didn't seem like he was like super excited about reading that book again, as he said. This is a new challenge, a guy he's been talking about. Do you feel, does that come across when he is preparing, that he's motivated, that he gets excited because it's someone he hasn't faced and already climbed the mountain, beating him, he had to do the whole thing all over again? Do you sense a difference?
Yeah, funny enough, I do. Like I feel, I don't know, there's something about the unknown that kind of pushes you, that puts you on edge a little bit. So it gives you, gives you a little bit of sharpness that you don't necessarily have in a rematch because of that familiarity.
Do you get the sense from Izzy that he is craving a knockout, is craving a finish? I hear him talking about submission and things like that. Do these things matter to either you or him? Because there's a pressure that comes with that. There's a fanfare that comes with that. I know as professionals, you don't really focus on that sort of thing, but you get the sense that he wants that sort of thing because people get excited about that sort of thing.
Well, I am getting a little bit of a sense of that, but those things need to occur organically. When you start to push those things, when you start to push that narrative that other people are putting on the fight, then that's when you run into trouble. So I haven't addressed it yet, but I will later on before the fight.
How will you? Oh, there's Ash. Hi, Ash. How are you? Good to see you. That's Ash, right?
Hi, Ash. How are you?
Hey, mate.
Yeah. You know your people. You know our team well.
I know the crew.
Well, getting ready for a bit of basketball.
Oh, yeah. I'd love to go over there. I'll show you all a few moves. Do you play basketball, Eugene?
I do not. I stick to the coaching role. I'm not too good at the basketball area.
Can I be honest? When I saw
everybody else.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's the thing. When I saw it, number one, I was like, oh gosh, these shots are a little bit hard to watch. But I also was worried. You could twist an ankle. You can should we be playing pickup basketball? 3 days before a massive fight. It was making me a little nervous.
Only Brad jumped in because Brad's a lunatic, but Volkan and Israel stayed away.
Okay.
They were a little smarter, and then now because the game's basically turned into rugby.
Yeah.
So I took Brad out of it. I said,
okay, that's
the best idea, mate. So we're good.
Okay, all right. I get worried about these things. By the way, since the big, last time we spoke, Izzy had just signed the big contract. Has he changed at all from your perspective? I know you like to keep him humble, but any differences? I mean, he's become a megastar at this point.
No, look, he's as he was. He hasn't changed. The person he is hasn't changed. Wears a lot of jewelry and stuff. A lot more jewelry I've ever seen. But other than that, the person, the man inside you hasn't changed at all.
How do you feel about the jewelry?
I can't say that.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm not a jewelry guy.
No, you don't strike me as a jewelry guy. Although I did see when you guys were preparing to fight on the Kambosos card, I think one of your fighters posted a video. You were taking a bunch of photos with people. I mean, everyone was stopping. You were more popular than the fighters themselves.
Melbourne is a big fight city, as you know, Ariel. So, and we've had a lot of success in Melbourne, this team. So we have a little bit of a footprint there. I would put it down to that. I would put it down to everything else.
Do you get uncomfortable when people come up to you?
Not anymore. I don't get uncomfortable, but I feel honored. I feel like I have to give them time. I feel like they support our team, and they're a big part of our success. So I feel like I have to take time and just say hello and give it all back. I think it's wonderful.
Does this tempt you? No social media for you, right? No Instagram, no Twitter, none of. Does this tempt you to start this up so you can interact with the people?
No, I'll never go down that dark road, Ariel. Never.
Do you wish all your fighters had no social media? Do you think do you see it negatively affecting them?
I see both sides. I understand. A lot of these commercial deals that put together, funnily enough, nowadays they go directly to social media reach. It's one of the leading aspects of these deals. So I see how you need it to be commercially viable, but then I also see like the people that come out in public and say that they're completely unaffected by other people's opinions on social media are normally the ones that are affected the most.
Yes.
Some of my fighters, I know that some of my fighters get out there in public and say, "Oh, I don't care about anybody's opinion of that." But those fighters are some of the ones that are completely affected the most by other people's opinion on social media.
Wait, doesn't Izzy say that?
I do see the negative side of it as well.
I think I've seen Izzy say that he doesn't get like this. Do you think it affects him?
I'm not going to name anybody in particular.
Okay.
Stick with my statement.
All right, fair enough.
But look, the people that truly don't care about social media, you never hear them saying, "I don't care about social media. I don't care about people's opinions." That's because that's just an anxious, it's part of them.
Right.
So, look, I see both sides of it, and fighters when they get to a certain level, they need to definitely be able to control what comes in, what comes in through the senses. It's a very important part of the sport nowadays.
Yes, something that the fighters of 15 years ago didn't have to worry about. We just spoke to Glover Teixeira. He was on the show, and he's in town as well for his guy Alex Pereira. And he feels like it's a done deal, fait accompli. Alex wins, Izzy wins. They're doing the fight in the UFC. Do you share that sentiment? Alex versus Izzy in MMA if both win on Saturday.
Not necessarily. I mean, just look. The purist in me is of the opinion that you've got to it's the most coveted prize in the sport. You've got to earn it. You've got to earn it. There's certain things you have to do to get to that position. And I felt like he hadn't done it yet. Like he doesn't have the resume that you would say, that you would put up on the wall and say, yeah, this guy's ready to fight for a title, this guy's fight for a title. Strickland, on the other hand, who's done a bit more time and been in a high caliber opposition, that's definitely the place to make. But at the end of the day, the team just, we're focused on the fight that's in front of us, not really thinking about that too much, aiming at it too much for.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just, off the top of my head, that's my thought.
So just to be clear, if Strickland wins, you think that he would have earned it, but if Alex beats Strickland, you think he needs a couple more?
Without putting too much thought into it, that's what I would have thought everybody thinks. But it seems to me that there's a narrative building that should he gets the title shot. And sometimes in that sport, that's what you need.
Yeah.
Just need a few people behind it, a few people banding it around, and it gains momentum and it turns into something.
Yeah, maybe because of the history, of course, and the fact that they're on the same card, I think will lead to more of that talk, especially come Saturday if they're both victorious. Do you think Izzy would be okay with it if they ask him to do it?
I think Izzy will be fine with it. I think Izzy will be happy to do it. But Israel also understands that.
Right.
He's never single-handedly picked any of his opponents. He's always, we've always come together with the rest of the coaches and decided this is the direction we want to go for now. So, he's not a sole decision maker. But I think he'll be fine with it. He's a fighter.
Right.
And, excuse me, he lost to Pereira, albeit in another sport. Probably wants to get that back. That's naturally what all fighters want to do.
Could I ask you, sorry, is it possible to get closer to the computer? I'm sorry to ask you, just because it's, there's an echo. All right. So Izzy said at the press conference in Australia that he's maintaining he will never fight in New Zealand. Do you share his sentiment? It's a big deal for you guys, right? For him to fight in New Zealand. If they came back and tried to make this happen, his next fight, the one after that, Would you try to push him to change his stance?
Not really. I think his mind's made up on that. I think he's making the wrong decision. Like I'm entitled to that opinion.
Yeah.
The thing about Izzy is he is quite easily blinded. Like you've got to look at when you get a certain frame of mind, you can't get out of it. And there's a few people in New Zealand that have been really critical of him, but there's millions that haven't. And it's a shame to punish the millions for what just a few people have done. But like I said, if he gets in a certain frame of mind on particular things, then then his mind can't be changed. And he's just been easily influenced by those. It's a pity to let those few people that have been highly critical of him basically win.
Yeah.
That's he doesn't see it like that, but he doesn't look at it objectively. It's just that's just how he is on that particular topic. So it would be cool to fight in New Zealand with a big main event, but we got other fighters, and we got Australia, which is literally 2.5 to 3 hour flight away.
Right. And what about the training and all that, the rules, COVID, all that? Is it back to normal now? You guys are able to do whatever you want?
Finally, Ariel, we can come and go from the country as we please. None of these ridiculous, quarantines and all the rest of it. We're back to normal, and I noticed a difference. This team is able to. We were able to hit the curve we were on, whereas that curve I feel got flattened quite drastically by COVID. More so than a lot of the other teams, and now we're able to kind of jump back on that curve that we were hitting. So that's where we're going.
Like you felt it was draining the team?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%. We would have. Well, you never like to talk about these things because you're in battle mode, you're in war mode, but so you don't acknowledge them. But realistically, probably we're operating at 50% capacity. The whole restricted numbers only being able to train at home, only being able to have 10 people in the team there, 5 people in the team there. This coach can't make it, only one coach can make it. Like all those things, the condition can't do the conditioning, can't see the physio, can't I'm talking about the overall operation really probably running at a guess 50%.
Wow. And how close were you guys to leaving?
Literally like a week or two away from leaving.
Wow.
Until they announced the date that they were going to open up again. Which was 2 weeks from when we decided that we were moving in 2 weeks, and then we're like, oh, that doesn't make any sense for us to, up all that upheaval. So,
and where were you going?
Texas or Las Vegas.
Okay, all right. Well,
we narrowed it down to 2.
Okay, 2 good spots. By the way, speaking of Izzy, I saw footage recently on his YouTube channel of him and Dan Hooker kind of going at it in training. And I know like Dan likes to talk smack to him and he likes that too. But this was pretty intense stuff. Like they were, really punching each other hard, going all over the gym. Is this common among the fighters, or is it just something that Izzy likes in particular? Is it something that Dan brings? How do you feel about it? Because it felt like if I didn't know any better, I would think that they were actually mad at each other.
Nah, that's an everyday occurrence amongst a number of those top high level guys. The subtle thing that people don't notice is that all those punches, although they looked hard, the sting was taken off them right at the end.
Okay.
And that's what that's how you become who you are, right? You get another guy who's at the top of his game at the highest level, and you go into battle, and not a physical battle, like you go into a mental battle. Because we're not like a hard sparring gym, but we're a gym that is very, very competitive amongst each other. So you're always trying to get the upper hand technically, and a lot of the time you're trying to do that psychologically. It's just part of the game, and particularly those two boys, they don't like to give each other an inch. You know, they're the best of mates outside the gym, but you put them in the four walls, and you know, they're there to do work.
What's something important that Alex Volkanovski has to do in the early stages of this fight to set the tone with Max Holloway? They fought for 50 minutes. They fight for a third time. What needs to happen early on, in your opinion?
Very smart way to try and get me to talk a little bit. But
no, I'm kidding. It's just such a great fight. I mean, they're the two best.
Look, I have to generalize my answer. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I get it.
Yeah. We got a strategy. We've got some tactics there, and we have to establish those early. We at least need to see that strategy early, so that we can start to make an assessment of which direction we need to take that strategy, because it can go several places.
Okay. Do you think that who can I ask you, who has improved more since their first fight, Alex or Max?
That's a difficult question to answer. Let me just say that I think they've both improved since their fights. I think they've both improved quite a bit. I think quite a bit. Look, Max showed me in that second fight something I didn't think he was capable of. And he was able to quickly pick up things which I thought, which takes, I guess, your average fighter, and it's not your average fighter. I guess that's what he showed me. A lot longer to learn, and Max was able to do that. And I've said this, on record. We went for a more conservative game plan, given the amount of time we had, where we just changed a few subtle things and left it at that. That's what we went for, and we thought that Max would try and change a lot, and he would not be successful doing that. That would be his undoing, trying to change too much in a short amount of time. And we were right, although we were only just right.
You said he showed you something that you didn't think he was capable of. What was that?
And it's not just his ability to learn something and then apply it really quickly within a relatively short amount of time since that fight was announced.
Okay, I get it.
But now we're able to. Now we know that there's a number of things that Max is now capable of changing now. Since given that the fights were quite a while apart, being quite far apart now.
Right.
We know that Max could have changed a couple of things. You got to remember, like, some fighters take some years to do some things that Max some of the adjustments that Max made in that fight. He was able to do them in a relatively short amount of time, a few months.
By the way, when you have a situation like this, 3 fights on a card, but like 2 massive ones, right? The title fights back to back. Is this way more stressful for you? Like, would you prefer that everyone be spread out?
Nah, look, we've been on the back of these quite a few times now, so we're getting used to them. It's quite nice to have everybody together, like just marching out one after the other. It's nice to have one fight in between.
Yeah.
Gives you a little bit of breathing room, but we're getting used to it, Errol.
And are you going to go home and then come back for Kai Kara Francis fight, or are you staying in America this month?
Now I'm going to head back. Everybody's going to head back, to be honest. We've got work to do, so there's going to be no world tour from any of these guys. We're heading straight back to the gym. There's a lot of guys here from the team that are here. We're going to all head back straight away and help Kai out.
Is it true that, there was some, you guys fight in the States, stick around. But what I was told, correct me if I'm wrong, it's like, we got to go back. We got to help out the rest of the team. We can't be sticking around in America for 2 weeks after this. We have to basically return the favor, right? Was that the mindset?
Absolutely. It was. I did hear a little bit of talk about, I'm going here, and I quickly had to remind the team. I said, look, this month, what we're doing here is just part of the mission, just 2/3 of the mission. We've still got to complete it. And so everybody kind of you forget these things when you're booking your holiday, when you're booking your time overseas and stuff. Start to make plans, Vegas, Colorado, and then next month I had to kill that dream, unfortunately, but that's just how it is.
I love it. These guys are international superstars making all this money. Eugene comes in there and like, no. I call the shots. I'm the captain still. I don't care what you do. And they all listen to you and respect you. And that's a beautiful thing. Can I get an official prediction for the main event? How do you think it goes?
Both those main events are just going to be 5-round masterclass. A 5-round masterclass. A shutout. Just like the first fight was for Volkanovski.
Yeah.
Just like the first fight was for Volkanovski. And I don't know just like the second fight was against Robert Whittaker for Israel.
All right. Well, good luck to you guys. Thank you for the time as always. Always a pleasure. Can't wait to see the master classes on Saturday.
Thank you, Ariel. Thank you very much. It's my ode to the boys in Bangtao, the Hickman brothers.
Respect.
Thank you.
I love it. All right. Thank you, Coach. All the best to you. There he is, Coach Eugene Bareman of City Kickboxing. Massive weekend for those guys.